Hello everyone! Welcome back to Multi-Level Mess. This will be the last video of the year, provided I manage to get it up in time. Last year, I did an anti-MLM news recap going over some of the biggest stories on my radar regarding network marketing, but to be completely honest, this year I didn't pay nearly as much attention to everything going on. I have been swamped by a bunch of other things, so I just haven't had as much on my radar. I didn't want to skip a recap video this year though, so instead, I figured I would do something a little different and take a look back at the topics I have covered this year to see if there have been any important updates I'd like to go over, as well as reflecting on how far this channel has come in that time. This is going to be pretty casual, but given the nature of some of the topics I have covered in the past, I'm just going to add a quick discretion warning for anyone watching. I don't think it's going to get too dark, but just in case, here you go. Also, any of my videos that I reference here, I'll make sure to provide a link for in the description in case you haven't seen that and want to get caught up to date or need a refresher. Oh, and real quick, this isn't a sponsorship bit, but I want to give a shout out to the source of the music you are hearing. Sessions Diana is a royalty-free album for Riot Games music that allows content creators to use it without fear of copyright infringement. It has 43 tracks and is completely free to download. If you want to check it out, I'll be linking it in the description. You'll probably be hearing a lot more of these tracks in the future, so thanks to them for making this tool available. Going over news updates first, in February I made a video regarding a lawsuit the MLM LuLaRoe was in, and then I followed that up later in April regarding how they were failing to comply with some of the terms of their settlement agreement. As it turns out, they just can't seem to stay out of hot water because recently a docuseries on Amazon Prime came out called LuLaRich, which goes into great detail the ongoing issues with the company. I'll be honest, I've been a little slow in watching it, but so far I feel like it's been pretty accurate in documenting the legging pyramid scheme. I highly recommend that people check it out if they haven't already. Again, it's on Amazon Prime, so it requires a subscription. I wish it had a rental option, but alas, Amazon continues to frustrate me, as it continues to frustrate, frankly, everyone right now, given their continued disregard for human life. But I digress. That's a conversation for perhaps another day. Anyway, LuLaRich, it's been very good so far in my opinion, and I need to finish watching it. But wait, there's more! Because very shortly after that docuseries was released, another docuseries came out called The Rise and Fall of LuLaRoe. I haven't watched any of that yet because while I do have Hulu, I don't have the big live TV bundle that is required to watch on there right now, and I don't have Discovery Plus. Therefore, I can't vouch for the quality of the series, but I do find it amusing and fascinating that two series came out in rapid succession about the company. Now, this is purely speculation, 100% my opinion, but I think that it may be in part due to just how ridiculous LuLaRoe in particular is in the grand scheme of how, well, pyramid schemes go. Some of the issues they have go beyond what is typically observed within MLMs. And sure, a lot of what we see in LuLaRoe is pretty common, but it just seems to be amplified to the extreme in some cases, and that makes for compelling television. It draws in an audience due to the sheer absurdity of it all. For starters, we do see a lot of connection between network marketing and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. LuLaRoe just seems to be a lot more blatant in how intertwined the two are. And skepticism towards the religion and some of its beliefs and practices were brought to the surface with information revealed by LuLaRich. I'm not going to go into all that right now, of course, but there is that undeniable connection that is specifically amplified within LuLaRoe. Another big thing that probably stands out to viewers is just how ridiculous the costs for LuLaRoe are. Even if they have reduced the startup prices within recent years in order to try to rope in more recruits, there was a long period of time, I think around 2016-17-ish, where it could cost anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to start selling for LuLaRoe. That is a huge expense, especially compared to some other MLMs. Most of them try to have at least some sort of starter pack below $100, but then offer bigger, supposedly better versions for more, and there's a lot of pressure to go for those bigger packages instead. Still, I don't think we really ever see anything go as far as starting at $5,000 or even getting that expensive at the bigger options. Those price tags raise a lot of eyebrows, but LuLaRoe tries to convince distributors that this is just an investment into starting their own business. I've beaten this point into the ground by now, but I'll say it again. MLM distributors are not small business owners. They are contractors paying to work. I'm trying to not go on and on about every single thing regarding LuLaRoe, but some other examples of their unique absurdities are like the constant body shaming and pressure for weight loss surgery from the owner Deanne, the inconsistent inventory ability for distributors that make luck a contributing factor to whether or not any of their product is sellable, the horrible and sometimes plagiarized designs, and products arriving wet or musty due to improper storage. Put that all together, and it makes a compelling story that draws viewers in from the sheer shock value. Of course, distributors tried to bombard the series with negative reviews, but it was pretty fucking obvious that was an attempt to divert negative attention. I swear, none of these people understand the Streisand effect. As it happens, it has been extremely popular. I like to take online ratings with a pinch of salt, but just for the record, as I'm recording this, it currently has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb, and 4.7 out of 5 stars in Amazon Prime. As far as the fall of LuLaRoe goes, the ratings still seem to be coming in, so it's hard to say, but it seems to have a 6.7 rating on IMDb, though there haven't been many actual reviews on there yet. The ones that are up seem pretty positive. Again, I can't say whether or not it's good myself, as I haven't seen any of it yet. I guess my takeaway from this is that I am glad that there's been more mainstream focus on chronicling why these companies are problematic, but I think this should just be the start. LuLaRoe is a fascinating case study to be sure, but we need to cover other companies too. Let's get a documentary about Young Living's shady history, or the rabbit hole that is Amway and the DeVos family. Let's get an update on Herbalife without the weird stock market bets distracting from the issues at hand. If there are more of these bigger productions about these schemes, more people will be informed, and perhaps there may even be more pressure to do something about them. Okay, I talked about all of that long enough. Moving on, you guys may remember when I went over in depth a video that had made some waves claiming that the anti-MLM movement is inherently anti-woman. Slight spoiler for that video, but in the end, I failed to see how any one of his arguments could actually be applied to the movement as a whole. It instead was an attempt to discredit the criticisms levied against a single content creator who once created anti-MLM videos, but then did a complete 180 and started selling Monet. There was a lot of drama and pain during that time, and I don't want to dig all that up again, but I did want to address a few things that happened after that video. First off, with something I did try to briefly address afterwards, another former anti-MLM creator who I initially defended in saying they knew when to stop digging a hole deeper for themselves, well, they returned to dig holes shortly after I uploaded. But they have since deleted any videos they made on the matter and gone back to doing their own thing. The new videos that get uploaded, then deleted in general, they seem pretty harmless, even if they aren't my personal cup of tea. I just hope that said creator is able to just put down the shovel for good this time. The other thing is that the creator covered in that video I reacted to did get into some more heat regarding some other anti-MLM advocates. Without going into too much detail, it seems that things have basically been resolved and all parties involved seem to want to move on from everything, which is understandable. In respect to everyone involved in those matters, I will not be using their names anymore, regardless of any names I might have used in the past. I want to just let my viewers know about the outcome of the drama so they know things were at least resolved to an extent. But I intend for this to be the last time I talk about it on my channel. I think everyone agrees that it was tiring and it's best to leave it behind in 2021. In late April and early May, there was an online conference hosted specifically related to anti-MLM. It hosted a plethora of incredible, well-educated speakers going over the issue within MLMs. If you're like me and weren't able to listen in at the time, there's great news. The recordings are still up on the website, which I'll be sure to link in the description. I don't know how long the videos will be hosted, but for now, it's definitely not too late to check it out. Now, in late May, I wrote an elaborate, heartfelt letter to the one and only Tim D. Sales, supposed network marketing guru and breaker of promises. At the time, it had been 2 months since the life-changing data he promised us about success in MLMs was supposed to be released. I'm sure you're all wondering if he ever did follow through, and if he ever returned my sentiments and unblocked me. No, he absolutely did not. Shocking, I know. Of course, the lovely Antibot and Savvy Writes books were sure to call him out for it, and I did find it amusing that after one of my tweets regarding the data not being released was featured in the initial call-out video, that was when I was blocked. It's as if it was purely a reaction to a single tweet in a video criticizing him that led to such a decision. Charming Timothy. Absolutely charming. He did eventually release a video claiming to have revolutionary network marketing data, but it was unclear whether or not it was anything like what he had promised the girls. They did go over that video to see if it bore any fruit, and I'll of course link that as well so you can see in full, but spoiler alert, it was very disappointing.
Well, my suspicions have been confirmed. Even though Tim claimed in the title of his video that he had new data to present, nothing new has actually been presented.
And we have still yet to see the actual data he claimed to have. Now, it may just be me, but I'm really starting to think that perhaps the data didn't actually exist. Anyway, happy 9 months, Timothy. I, as always, humbly await your generous response. Now guys, I'll admit, I did not expect to get so many views on the Newborn Feathers video, so thank you for watching that and spreading the word for how those distributors were mistreated. I wish I had more to say about that whole debacle, but unfortunately there's little for me to go off of. I know that the MLM police hasn't had any further word from Sterling, so at least his threats ended up being pretty empty, just like his heart regarding his distributors. Plus, I heard they all eventually got their delayed payments, which is good, though don't quote me on that in case I missed something. Their social media is now very heavily censored. Any mention of what happened in the past is swiftly deleted, and the commenters get blocked, so it's unfortunately gone back to business as usual for them. We've yet to see how much of an overall impact snubbing their distributors had on their numbers. It looks like a lot of those distributors switched over to another jewelry MLM, which is disappointing for me, I won't lie. However, they did get a taste of just how little MLMs care for their sellers and how swiftly they can take everything away from them. I mean, it was the same with Black Organic Organics shutting down the moment there was a legal dispute. The difference is that one group was left with loads of unsold earrings and missing paychecks, and the other with containers full of toxic dirt. So, I hope the former Newborn Feathers distributors do take that experience to heart. In the end, I always encourage people to make their own decisions with the information they receive and the experiences they go through. And then there was the paparazzi convention video. Wow, that blew up. Just wow. Thank you all again, not as much for the views, but for letting me spread awareness about that situation. Unfortunately, when it comes to mishandled events that result in the deaths of attendees and their families, there is no good news. It doesn't get better. I don't have a solid confirmation for the death count related to the conference. When I reported on it, there were 6 confirmed deaths. The last I heard, it was believed to be at least 11. I looked around, but I wasn't able to find anything else definitive. Still, whether it's 11 deaths or more, it is terrible. I had some distributors come into the comments on that video and claim that some of my information regarding consultant rewards wasn't accurate. I was just going off of what paparazzi themselves publicly posted. At least one of those claims got deleted, which it wasn't me because I don't like to censor comments on my videos unless I deem them harmful. But I have asked anyone saying that to send me that info so I can look into it. I have open DMs on social media, I have my contact page on the blog, and I now have an email specifically linked to the channel. But I still have never received anything to back that up. I'm someone who wants to present accurate information on my channel, so if I did receive something that supported these claims, I would look into it and adjust things accordingly if I deemed it viable evidence. I haven't received anything. So I'm standing by my statements for now, as per what the company themselves have stated. As far as I'm aware, paparazzi still refuses to acknowledge the consultant deaths or their part in them. They've wiped the accounts of anyone who passed, they're still censoring comments, and overall they just continue to be scummy and refuse to do the right thing. On top of that, they're now under quite a bit of more heat because one of the things they claim about their cheap-ass costume jewelry is that it's at least nickel-free, which they've had to come out and admit recently is not true. On top of that, there's reports that lead has been found in the jewelry as well, as if we needed more reason to not buy shitty $5 earrings from a company with no regard for the lives of their distributors. Turns out the junk is allegedly toxic as well. That's gonna be a no fucking thanks for me. I don't have any real updates on the Potter's house, and I don't know what my next cult deep dive will be. I'm focusing on getting the next fictional cult breakdown put together, and there's so much footage to go through. It's gonna be a while. I'm sorry. I promise it's on its way. As far as the channel goes, it's been quite the year. Things started off quietly at around 6 subscribers. I redesigned the channel look and just kind of focused on being myself. I had steered clear of the goth aesthetic before because I was worried people wouldn't really like it. So I went with the purple space stuff for a bit before realizing how similar that was to someone else's look. But after I went with my own thing, it turns out people really digged it. And I feel dumb for limiting myself like that. Because I started this channel for a message, not for popularity. This has always been a passion project of mine, and now that passion is properly conveyed because it's more personal now. Things picked up around March, but really blew up around July and August. I've been blown away by how many new subscribers I got. I know it's small by YouTube standards, but YouTube can go fuck themselves because their standards are garbage and hypocritical anyway. The fact of the matter is that what audience I have built, it's been done organically and through genuine interest. You guys are the absolute best, and I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for just being here to listen. I've always felt like if I could just help at least one person learn more about the topics I discuss, or put a smile on a single face, then that's all that matters. So to know I've done it for over 200 people, that means a lot. I'm hoping to get back more into the swing of things in the new year, so keep an eye out for more anti-MLM and cult-related content. My comments and social media will continue to remain open for feedback and suggestions, or for anyone to come forward and share their experiences. I've had people reach out to me after some of my videos, and it means a lot for them to share their stories with me. I'm looking into the new year with hesitance. It really feels like it's just gonna be 2020.0.3, you know, new patch, same garbage game. I know there's at least some shit I don't have to deal with anymore, but the world is just chaotic right now. At least as far as the channel goes, I'm hopeful for how it will continue to grow and reach people. I'm not gonna lie, this was a weird Christmas season for me. Like, Christmas Day was generally okay, but on Christmas Eve, I had a very unpleasant experience that just kind of reminded me of why I am such a skeptical person in the first place. and why I make content like this. I hope that eventually this can be a safe place for me to open up about things I've not been able to before. But I want to make sure that when I do, I can speak with a clear and open mind and not let my hurt get in the way of the message I want to send. So yeah, I don't know what the future will hold, but I'm hoping for just growth and improvement on the channel. If you want to be here as it happens, please consider subscribing and following me on social media. I also have a Ko-fi if you'd like to support the channel that way and get a special shout out in a video. All those important links will be in the description. Thank you guys for spending another crazy year with me, and I hope to see you back in the graveyard in 2022.